I think it's an incredibly inspiring one looking back at your kind of roots and you starting out in Brazil as a remote working for a US company. Talk to me over the 10 years, where you've built the business up to now, some of the key kind of lessons you've learned, the challenges you've navigated and how you've got up to this, this size and scale that you have today.
Good question, because it's been so much time already, right? So there have been so many challenges. It's like that, that idea. Every year is a challenge, right? Every year we got something new. You have to figure out that specific issue. And then the next year, maybe you have a different one. You have to go back to see if you already had in the past the same issue. But I have a few. I think the first, of course, especially because I was working, and maybe I can do the same comparison with AI now, right? So when I started, my biggest challenge is finding the right people for this job, right? Because I was pretty experienced, right? But I wanted to learn something new. Always work something. I work like that, right? So I wanted to learn the best thing in the market for software development, right? And when I started to hire a few guys, I just thought, look, this is DevOps, software development. I need somebody really experienced for that, right? So I started to hire the most experienced guy that I could find, and really expensive that would make everything much more complicated, right? And then I hired those guys initially, and it didn't work. It didn't work because I was working with something so new, cloud and DevOps back then, that they just thought, look, I've been working in IT for more than 10 years now. I'm not going to change the way I develop. I'm not going to use containers. They didn't want to automate the whole process. They were struggling to learn and to implement anything. They were taking too much time because they couldn't learn. So I think I stayed like that for over a year, where I could manage 3 or 4 clients, and I just gave one for the new guys, and they couldn't handle. Eventually, I had a couple of interns that they were pretty young, 19, 20 years old only, and we were struggling so much. I had a partner back then that my partner just said, look, what if we just test the interns on that kind of work? They actually got other kind of projects, not DevOps or cloud. And then he said, look, I think they might be able to do that. Then really? You think that? Okay, well, let's just try. And was incredible, right? So they did pretty fast. They were pretty good, but I think most of all, they were able to learn something pretty quick. Right. And they were eager to learn. Right. And they didn't have the past experience that at some point was good, but, for that specific situation was not that good. So eventually we find that work. And then we just started to get people with not that much, with some experience, but not that much, because at that point was something really new. Now it's a different situation. Everybody already knows a little bit about the whole DevOps and Kubernetes. There is another problem, but a different from one. But eventually we found that there is a specific profile of developers, of engineers that you can find for a company, right? And I struggled that in the beginning. And you can see, I think the AI now, it's almost the same thing that I can think, because whenever I try to talk about AI with a customer and he brings one of his senior engineer, the senior engineer just, no, I don't want to talk about AI, because he feels that AI is for bad developers that are not able to develop and struggle to deliver.